UltraAlgo here, and today is March 12, 2021. We are going to be reviewing the trades over the past 24 hours. Some of the tickers that we'll be reviewing is ENTX, that's Entero Bio, NVFY, that's Nova Lifestyle, GIGM, Gigamedia Limited, ENVB, Enveric Bio, INVO, Bio, and VIR, Bio. Before we jump in the charts, I'm going to show some of the posts that we did yesterday. ENTX, we actually had a short squeeze alert where it jumped up 22%, and then we decided to short it. When we shorted it, it dropped down 25%. ENVB, it was a very easy short that dropped down 31%. INVO, we saw that it was a short squeeze in place, and then we saw an opportunity to do a swing trade. When we got the short signal, we entered in. It dropped down 41.49%. VIR dropped down 13.94% on based off our chart. We saw that there was a pullback potential. NVFY, we waited for our short signal based off of the first jump that happened earlier in the day, and it dropped down 42%. And then GIGM, we saw that it had a history of pulling back, and we configured our signals to identify that, and it dropped down 17.79%. We did a total of 6 trades yesterday, and these were the 6 trades. Now let's go into the charts. So the first trade that we're going to be looking at is VIR Biotechnology. That's on the 30-second chart. And I think there's really no other way to trade this particular security without the 30-second chart. Some of the signals that are on the screen is you'll see a buy signal. That means it has a bullish pattern. Short signal means it's got a bearish pattern, and these are the retail trades. And then these ultra bull and ultra bear trades, those demonstrate the trades that are happening by the market makers. So this is using 15 unique indicators to define what is specifically happening with that security. And here you can see we got the ultra bull signals early. When we got the first alert, it was at a high of $46.82, and then ended up jumping all the way up to $70. Then we received the short signal, and we wrote it down from that was a price of a low of $66 all the way down to $56, and then it did a nice little swing. And there's quite a few opportunities to enter here. But what you can see is that the market makers pushed this up, pulled out pretty aggressively, and then it's overall the trend looks like it's moving downwards. Again, we trade specifically on the signals. We don't do any forecasting in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a pure technical play. Now let's look at some of the other securities. ENTX, and this is actually very interesting because it's actually right now at the resistance line. And what you see is we got the buy signal early. Then we saw the ultra bull signal, so the market makers came in. They decided to push the price up. It jumped all the way up to $7.89 from our first buy signal at $1.54, and then it ended up dropping down to a low of $3.78. We got the buy signal in place. That was at a high of $5.12, and now again it's at $7.81. It's likely going to hit quite a bit of resistance here and potentially pull back, so I definitely keep my eye on this particular level. If it breaks through, that's fantastic, but we like to trade on the signal, so we would wait for the signal for to potentially enter a short position or close out of a long. Next security is NVFY. Again, this is a 5-minute chart, Nova Lifestyles, and here you can see the patterns that we identified. Quite a few opportunities to enter and do some swing trading. We always recommend trading with bracket orders, but that ultra bull signal from when we got the alert, it was at a high of $4.20, and then jumping all the way up to $9.63. GIGM, that was a very, very aggressive pullback, and I don't think you would have had too much of an opportunity to actually catch this ultra bull signal on the 15-minute chart. You would have to look at a more aggressive time frame. So let's look at the 1 minute as an example. And with every time frame that we're referencing, we have to configure the signal. So in here, I would specifically look at this chart and say, well, you know, is it possible for me to potentially trade this based off of the volatility? So I'm going to adjust the settings here and see if there is a way for me to potentially move on this. The 1 minute chart isn't my favorite on this security just because of how quickly it moves. So I'd probably look at something closer to a 30-second chart. And the 30-second chart is looking good. What we see is that patterns tend to repeat. So we're going to adjust our gain settings just slightly, just to see if there was a possibility for us to enter a little bit earlier. And overall, this looks pretty good. So if you entered the SPY signal, yes, it had a little bit of a pullback, but it ended up coming out pretty well to $6.25. So we always recommend trading with bracket orders where you have your gain settings, but these two short signals are very telling. And usually when it's over the resistance line, we don't tend to buy. So what we do is we specifically look for the short signal when it's over the resistance line, and when it's under the resistance line, that's when we look for potentials to enter and specifically look for those ultra bull signals. Now let's look at another security, ENVB. This one had a very, very aggressive pullback. What we did is we used the settings from the last jump that it did, where we saw some ultra bull signals, and then it ended up pulling back. Those ultra bear signals were telling where the price dropped very, very aggressively over time. Then we saw an ultra bull signal come up, and we got this alert at a high of $3.02, and then ended up jumping all the way up to $7. Then we got the short signal. The short signal was at a low of $5.22, and right now it's trading around the $3.40 mark. It's got a little bit of a jump up, but I would monitor this to see if there's a possibility for a rebound. Again, we don't predict prices, we just wait for the signals, and that's what we trade on. And then the final ticker is INVO, and that's INVO Biosciences on the 15-minute chart. Again, the patterns tend to repeat, so we identified this pattern in the past. We replicated that, and we saw that it kept repeating. So this is really where we decided to say, okay, well, if we get a short signal all the way up here, we're definitely going to open up position. So we did a swing trade, and now the price is still dropping to today. So again, very, very, very aggressive pullbacks. It's always recommended to secure profits when possible, and don't be too aggressive with your goals across the board. Thank you for watching the technical video. If you're interested in improving your overall trading strategy, we recommend you start a 7-day free trial with UltraAlgo. This tool is designed to help traders easily identify buy and short opportunities across securities listed on all major exchanges. That includes the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, OTC. Now, it's also available for Forex and crypto trading. Start your free trial at ultraalgo.com.